All right, so one of the things we love about golf is they can be throwing kind of curveballs. So hole 12 here, they had some water damage. It's springtime, early summer here, and so it's been moved into a par 3. It's normally a par 4, really hard par 4, but they've moved it into a par 3. No big deal, but that's part of what course management, course strategy, playing the game of golf is all about. Some days the wind blows. Some days the greens are in great shape. Some days they're in terrible shape. Sometimes holes are modified. And that's the beauty of the game, is that we've got to learn to make adjustments and we got to deal with what we've got. So we've got a par 3 here, back-to-back par 3s. Now, here's the unique thing about this. This shot is about just as much uphill as the last shot was downhill. So once again, getting the right distance and the right club selection is really key here, all right? So I've got this hole right here. It's about 130 yards. So I brought my 9-iron and I brought my 8-iron. Okay, now one thing I do know about this hole, because I've played it before, is that it's got a very severe slope from back to front. So when you've had a chance to play a course a couple times, you're going to make mental notes about the course. So I know right away that I would rather be a little bit short and chipping than I would be long and putting downhill, because once it gets going downhill, it's almost impossible to stop. So I'm going to lean and go towards my 9-iron, even though I might have to, jump on it a little bit. I'd rather be a little short than a little bit long. And that is because I'd rather be chipping. So that would be the first thing I'd share with you here on this particular tip. What we're learning here is it's an uphill shot. Okay, so we got to think about the club selection, but also be thinking about where's the best place to miss it if you do, so that you give yourself the easiest next shot. So I'm going to go 9-iron. Here we go. I like this club. Once again, I'm going to pick out a target. I've got a spot here just a little bit to the left of the pin. Once again, very seldom am I aiming right at the pin, okay? Unless you got your name on your bag and you're playing the game for a living, you probably shouldn't be aiming at the pin a lot. Give yourself some margin for error. So there's a bush kind of up there by the house, just a little left of the pin. I'm going for that. And if I can get it on that line, if I push it a little bit, I'm still fine. If I pull it, I'm still fine. So here we go. All right, see if I can keep it hopefully below the hole. I did not hit it very solid. Let's see if it carries. Okay, I think it got there. We're gonna find out. Hopefully I grabbed the right club. Let's see what we got. Let's head up to the green. All right, so I get up here. I feel good about this shot now that I've been up here, because as you'll remember, we talked about this on one of the previous shots, is that I got my PhD, man. I got my pin high degree. So even though I pushed that a lot, I got the right club in my bag, and now I've got a pretty straightforward putt. So once again, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a broad look, and as I'm just walking, I always like to walk putts off and just let your feet tell you, like I can feel I'm definitely walking uphill, and I'm definitely walking to the left. So your feet, in addition to your eyes, are a great resource when it comes to reading putts and things like that. Now, it's just barely off the green. I'm definitely putting this. You know, if you've watched any of our stuff here at US Golf TV and you follow the vertical line swing system and all the content that the great team puts out there for us, that you're always better to putt when you can. You're the saying, your worst putt is always better than your worst chip, has been around for ages, but it's very true. So I'm going putter here for sure. And once again, I've got probably 25 to 30 feet. From this distance, if I can get this up there and tap it in and go to the next hole, I'm feeling really good. So I've got my line. I'm gonna play it about 2 feet to the right. I'm focusing on my distance. And all I'm trying to do right now is get this thing down in 2 and get to the next hole, because I know I've got some easy holes coming up. Here we go. All right, I feel really good about that. I had a good read, but more importantly, I had good speed. So you've heard me say this a couple times right now. PhD, pin high degree, distance control with your putting, lag putting, things like that are so important. It's one of the cornerstones of the vertical line swing system, and that's why chipping is so important. Lag putting is so important, because here today, I've only played 3 holes, all right? But already, I've had 2 long putts where I've been on the green, basically. And if I 3-putt those like I did the 11th hole, I'm making bogeys. But if I'm 2-putting them, like I did right here, I'm making a lot of pars. So, some really good lessons right there. Now, you know what the fun part is? We get to go play some par 5s, man. We get to hit some drives, all right? Let's head over to hole 13.